Ten hrb jak Quasimodo.
Coach, it's a do-or-die game. One shot, one opportunity. What do you need to do to seize the game and capture it today?
I think it's obvious that we need to play our game, to run, to play up-tempo, and hopefully we can force them to play the way we want, and not they will take us to play their style of game.
What's the most dangerous part of their game? Probably some dangerous players.
I think quality. They have a lot of quality. They can go inside, outside. Experienced players. We have to stick together to go through the bad momentums also during the game, and work like one pack.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nizhny Novgorod. This is the Basketball Champions League Final 8, and it's the quarterfinal between ERA Nymburk and Pinar Karsiyaka. As both teams warm up after the opener between Nizhny Novgorod and Kasadamont Zaragoza. Kasadamont Zaragoza winning that one, beating the hosts. So the winner of this game will take on Zaragoza from Spain. And I suppose for the hosts, sort of deflating to see your team go out, but it just goes to show the stakes are high. And certainly when the trophy is at stake, you see Nizhny winning, Zaragoza winning it 86-78 over Nizhny. So now the winner of this game will face Zaragoza. Tomorrow, Tenerife and Strasbourg will be in action, as well as Holon and Burgos. So thanks again for joining us. I'm Jeff Taylor, and joined by Mark Clark. And Mark, we saw Kasadamont Zaragoza raise their game to their best level, beating a very good Nizhny Novgorod team here in Nizhny Novgorod. And now the burden is on both of these teams to reach, you'd have to say, close to peak level if they want to stay alive in this competition.
Absolutely, Jeff, and I think the great thing about these two teams is that at various points in both the regular season and the playoffs, they've both had like situations where they've had to perform, whether it be to win a group or whether it be to actually qualify, you know, to get into the next stage. And in every occasion, these teams have found ways to win. And Karsiyaka, I think, have got this really nice blend of some real experience in Semih Erden, and then you've got some guys that are just breaking in to like the Champions League level, you know, Medical Bursen, and this team has got options inside, outside. I would say they come into this game as the underdog because Nymburk, in the last 2 years, these difficult 2 years, has been one of the most consistent teams in the Basketball Champions League. They had the best regular season record last year. They've got a lot of continuity. Maybe not the biggest team in the competition as we have a look at the roster for Karsiyaka, which I said under coach Saricka is just really balanced.
And they have a couple of players that know what it's like to win the title. Tony Taylor and Amat Mbai played for Virtus Bologna when they won it in that great Basketball Champions League Final Four in Antwerp in Belgium. So, you know, Czech basketball has been on the rise, and certainly this Nymburk club has been a big part of that. A lot of the national team players, for example, have come through here. Some of them still play for this team, and they know that to get a trophy that would add some prestige, and also kind of like show that this club certainly does belong in the conversation as one of the best teams in Europe. But they have got a tough opponent tonight against Pinar Karsiyaka.
I mean, the good thing, one of the things for me about this Nymburk team, even though they're so dominant in the Czech Republic, I mean, again, they're the most successful team this year, already rolling some teams over in the playoffs, but they've retained some key individuals. I mean, retaining Wojciech Luban, for example, is not easy to do. He had a great Basketball Champions League, did really well for the Czech Republic national team. There have been a lot of people wanting to talk about Wojciech Luban perhaps playing elsewhere in Europe, but he's stayed, and he's one of the real major building blocks of this program, and huge for Czech basketball. On top of their national team success, for Nymburk to go deep into this competition and perhaps win it, that would just be the next stage for that country to really make a statement about where it wants to be in European and world basketball.
Well, they did have Jaromir Bohacic in their team as well, but he's he left for another Basketball Champions League side, SIG Strasbourg, which has actually made the Final Eight as well, and they're going to be in action tomorrow. But Ruban, they've got Retin Obasuhan. Obasuhan was paid a huge tribute to Ruban in a nice players column that he wrote for the Basketball Champions League on their website, just saying it's all about the wins for Ruban. He doesn't care about anything else, and I mean that's how you want all your players. But the reality is, not all players are as selfless as Ruban.
I think the great thing about them, I mean, they're obviously they're the third team in Basketball Champions League history to win 50 games, and that puts them up there with your Tenerifes and your Athens. They're one of the stalwarts of the Champions League, Basketball Champions League, have been here since the start, and have got progressively better. They're #1 in scoring this year. I think the great thing about the Basketball Champions League this year has been teams are being so aggressive. The scoring is higher than it has been in the last few years, and these teams are like fun to watch. And most people haven't got the ability to get into the gym and watch these guys play, but watching these guys on any sort of whatever the TV channel or media outlets that they're watching is fun. This team know how to run and share the ball. You've got a guy like Omar Pruitt, has had a lot of Basketball Champions League experience. 2-meter-1 forward, can literally flat out score nearly 16 points a game. And I think the most important thing you've said there, Jeff, is that whoever goes to Nymburk, it's all about the win. It's all about the group. It's all about representing, and it's much more beyond just Nymburk, the club. I think they see their role here as, alongside the national team, as doing a great job for Czech basketball.
Well, Oren Amiel was named Coach of the Year last year, and Omar Pruitt has made the star lineup, second team this year. So, and you do wonder with ERA Nymburk, really, I mean, it's taken nothing away from the great achievement of ERA San Pablo Burgos winning the Basketball Champions League Final 8 last year. But, Nymburk were in their stride, and they were having a great season, and then the coronavirus pandemic came, and I think probably we didn't see the best of Nymburk when they showed up at the Final 8 in Athens.
Oh, definitely not, Jeff. I mean, and they're a very young group. There's only the two guys over 30 years old on the roster. One of those is Ruban, still one of their best players, and one's the great veteran Peter Bender at 38. So this team is quite young. So to go into a pre-season, early season Final 8 was going to be difficult for them, especially when you think, bringing in Jarek Harding as his freshman season coming out of school, came with a big billing, and he's settled down, and he's learned how to be a very, very effective pro, and this group now excites me in terms of how deep they could go. I just hope they, like you say, I think they deserve to do well this year because of the difficulties they had after being the best team in the regular season last year. Nothing would be better for the Basketball Champions League than Nymburk going deep into this competition. That's taking nothing away from Karsiyaka, because they are, again, another team that are fun to watch.
Well, ERA Nymburk finished second in Group B behind Tofaş Bursa. Both teams had 4-2 records, as well as JDA Dijon. They were 4-2. They advanced to the playoffs, and Nymburk finished top of Group L with a 5-1 record over the Casa de Zaragoza team that we just watched win against Nizhny. So you would think this Nymburk team really does mean business. But Karsiyaka as well have had a great season in the regular season. They were 4-2 behind Borussia Bamberg in Group F. They got to the playoffs, and despite a very tough defeat to Hapoel United Holon at home, they were able to rebound from that, finish 3-3, and finish second to advance to the final 8. So survive and advance. Here is Semih Erdin, one of the more famous players in that Pinar Karsiyaka team, a member of the Turkey team that finished runners-up at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2010. Medjan Bersan, you spoke about, player that is continually growing and developing into a big-time player. And
Raymar Morgan, Jeff, this guy, I mean, just having a phenomenal Basketball Champions League season, just short of 20 points a game. You know, he's one of those guys, I think, as well, that really fits into this group. He knows what he can, what he can't do. He knows how to make contributions. And the team is better for having him on it, as well as him being one of the star performers in the group.
Yeah, and also he made the Star 5, so really voted one of the best 5 players in the competition. It wasn't like his contributions went unnoticed. Now here's a high flyer. Beating Heekin Sky. So keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on Sansirma coming off the bench. DJ Kennedy, perhaps not as influential as he was in his previous spell with Pinar Karsiyaka, but this guy also capable of making big plays. Tony Taylor, enough said. I mean, he is a fiery competitor. And when he brings his A game, I'm not sure there are many guards that can live with him. And Sek Henry as well. Terrific performer, gutsy. And Amat Mbaye, France International, really, you know, this competition, the Basketball Champions League, I think really kind of helped him raise his profile, got him into the French national team, and of course he went to China and reached the podium. Here's the guy you want to keep an eye on, Mark, coming off the bench, Sansirma. I think this guy's a star. Really tough competitor.
Jeff, you know, this whole team has got so much individual talent, so much individual ability, and when they put it on the floor as a group, they are a match for anybody. And under a coach with this experience, Pinar Karsiyaka, being a national team coach, coaching the Basketball Champions League, being a very, very an excellent former player. I mean, they've got all the constituent parts. I don't think we've seen the best of them as a group yet. No better place to do it. I mean, they had a huge win in the Turkish league on the road, like a 40-point win in their last game at home. They're obviously in good shape. They're obviously feeling good about each other. I'm intrigued to see how far this team can go as a group. They've got as I say, so many constituent parts that make them a very, very good team. The trouble is they're coming up against a team that epitomizes the word team in this Nymburk lineup.
Number 77 at forward.
Well, yeah, we talked about Ruban again. So crucial, not just for Nymburk, but for the Czech Republic. Played at the World Cup, one of their big stars. Omar Pruitt had actually played in Turkey with Banvit.
Yep.
And or rather Bandirma, and now he's here. Peter Bender, you talked about being one of the great veterans.
Jeff, you know, think about Peter Bender, 2'3", and he's still playing a pro career at the highest level, and he's just fundamentally so good. Just does a tremendous job. Great role model for young players. And Jarek Harding excites me as a basketball player. I think he's got so much that he can grow into as a pro.
Here's Hayden Dalton. Lean, mean fighting machine. He can hurt you inside, outside. Tough defensively. And the young Czech comes out.
The Jew, does he, Jeff? Dalton sometimes is a little bit like the blue-collar guy of this Nymburk team. Does lots of little things that sometimes go a little unnoticed.
How about Paliza? Here's a guy that can go off for 30 points in a game. Somebody that's always dangerous, as well as Retin Obasahan, the Belgium international. Played his college basketball at Alabama, and something he's very proud of. And he's a game changer. I mean, he can go into the game and really change things up. How about Zimmerman as well? He's really, I feel like he's taken a step up this year in his career by going to Nymburk. He's done very well for them.
You know, it wasn't one of those guys that was universally, people went, there wasn't a lot of fanfare about him going there, but he's done a tremendous job. And I think you're right, Jeff. As the season has gone on, he has just become a really major contributor to the team.
There's another Czech international, Safarczyk. Perhaps flies under the radar a little bit, but is dangerous, as is Jakub Tuma.
What a great core of this group, Jeff. You know, like ranging from 20 to 27 years old. There's a lot of mileage on the clock already for this group, but they're so experienced, but they've got so much more they can give. So it's looking great for Nymburk going forward. It's great to see clubs that have just grown, and the Basketball Champions League is where they've demonstrated how far this program has come, that we're now talking about them as potential winners.
The Basketball Champions League technical delegate from Russia, Sergei Fomin.
So Oren Amiel started out with Nymburk as an assistant to Nano Ginsburg before Ginsburg decided to go full-time as the Czech Republic national team coach. And I think Nymburk very wisely promoted Amiel to the head coaching job. And he's been terrific. How about this refereeing crew here? Very famous. Antonio Conde from Spain, Alexander Glizic from Serbia, and Ademir Zarapovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina. On the right, Alexander Glizic there on the left. One of the best in the business, and no doubt a great honor for these guys. You see Zarapovic also calling those big games, and it's interesting. See Pinar Karsiyaka, DJ Kennedy, Tony Taylor, Sek Henry, Raymar Morgan, and Amat Nbai in the starting five. It was Antonio Conde who was the referee who called the violation on Semi Eridan for going over the line while guarding the inbounds passer when they lost that game to Holon, that crucial play. Raymar Morgan scored in double digits in each of his 12 games in the Basketball Champions League this season. And Amat Nbai is just tough.
Yeah. Jeff, that starting lineup just has athletic with a capital A. I mean, this team can just physically, they can be intimidating. That's one of the most athletic starting lineups of this Final Eight. Little small ball, perhaps, power forward and stuff, but it's a big athletic lineup.
And Ufuk Sarıca, we'll talk about him in just 1 second. Jakub Tuma, Omar Pruitt, Hayden Dalton, Wojciech Ruban, and Steven Zimmerman in the starting five.
Well, you got to say, Jeff, that Steven Zimmerman's got to get himself going here, because he's going to have a big role at looking after, taking care of business around the glass. against a very powerful, very quick, very athletic front line. Pruitt's had a great season, nearly 16 points a game, chipped in with 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists pretty much. Vastly experienced in Basketball Champions League play. And you mentioned Obasohan, and what a performance this guy has put out all year. 14 points plus. They got talent across the roster, this group. And as you said, last year's Coach of the Year. I love the promotion from internal. You're part of the club. You understand what the club values are about, and he's just done a tremendous job for the whole organization.
Now, as we look at the lineup or the roster here.
Investigation, no complaining. Outlet, boom, we go. We play X, okay? Omar on the same side. Hayden, all right, boom, we go.
You can see they lead the competition in scoring at 89.9 points per game.
Good pick.
And Pruitt again,
that's just
lethal.
a fundamentally sound team, Jeff, isn't it? You know, scoring that many points with this roster, this team can shoot the ball, move the ball, and they really are effective.
And Karsiyaka, I guess you interpret that as being a good stat, right? Ranked last in the BCL with only with less than 10 turnovers per game.
That's where you want to be ranked, right? You want to be last in number of turnovers.
You know, one comment about Sadija, the coach, just think how famous, maybe he doesn't get his due. You know, he coached Besiktas, did a very good job with him. He coached Turkey's national team. Just imagine if his Turkey team had beaten the United States at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and they should have won that game. And they just missed several free throws right at the end. So, you know, I think he was robbed of one of his greatest victories by the free throw line.
Yeah, that's how he looked in the post-game press conference as well.
Well, folks, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. If you're just joining us, we're in Nizhny Novgorod, and it's ERA Basketball Nymburk winning the opening tip here against Pinar Karsiyaka in the second quarter final and scoring immediately. And you talk about Zimmerman getting off to a good start. Well, he gets off to a good start by scoring the game's first 2 points.
That's just great execution. You know, took the athleticism out by execution.
Well, Henry misses, but the long rebound. And charge called now on Amat Enbai. Kind of lowers his shoulder.
Yeah. We talked about Dawn before the game, doing all those things you're supposed to do as, you know, the blue-collar guys. We see the pick and roll for 2. They get a fundamentally sound pick and roll and great defense for the charge. What a start for Nymburk.
Dalton fires it up from 3 and is short, and now running up ahead and passing and scoring is Raymar Morgan. Gets his first 2. Good look up ahead by Sek Henry. Quickly to the other end, Nymburk and Zimmerman yet again. So out of the gates fast, the American.
Super start by the big man. Super start, active on the glass.
So Kennedy misses with his jumper at the line. Pruitt from behind the arc. Rubin gets it to Dalton, gets it back. Rubin in the paint, puts it up and in.
Interesting the way they played the pick and roll, Nymburk there. They zoned it, as you're going to get a replay of this. Well, to say it's a lean away is an understatement. Great form on the release of the basketball. Rebound for 2. The time before, they just played, they zoned it when it came to the pick and roll, and they offered the jump shot. And that's off. They decided that they don't think they're going to lose the game offering that mid-range jump shot. Interesting to see if that works.
Well, already a substitution. Medijan Burson comes into the game for DJ Kennedy. Now Morgan backing down low, passes an outside to Mbai. Into the corner, Pearson, short. Nymburk spread in the court. Ruban drifts into the paint and makes another one. The fast start for Ruban.
That's too easy, Jeff. There's no way they can't guard Ruban better than that and force him to take a tougher shot. That's just too soft at the defensive end.
Well, Mbai is not going to be shy about putting it up. Ruban again to the corner. Dalton. And the drive and the miss. Morgan was fouled there by Dalton. You feel Raymar Morgan in the game, don't you? I mean, he is just big and strong.
It's one of those things, Jeff, you can never, say why, but he has such presence on his team. You know he's there all the time, and his numbers always support that.
So Tony Taylor fouled as he gets into the paint, and Kennedy came out because he injured his left hand. And that is not a good sign. You hope it's a jammed finger or something.
Yeah. Looked a little worse than that, though, didn't it? The way he reacted to the touch.
And that was a shooting hand. Tony Taylor! Ruban doesn't waste any time. Pearson, John Pearson, crosses midcourt. Mbai again, puts it on the deck, and is fouled by Dalton. That's two quick ones now on Hayden Dalton in the first 3 minutes and 51 seconds of the game.
That's one of those fouls, Jeff, where the defensive player says it was all ball. Yeah, your hand was all on the ball, but your arm was all over the arm, and your other hand was on the back. And that's a big call for Nymburk, because Dalton's one of those guys that makes this whole unit click. So for him to sit down in foul trouble early, even though you're bringing on the veteran Peter Bender, it's yeah, if Dalton's minutes are limited by foul trouble, that's going to be a tough ask for Nymburk to overcome that. But looking at it from the other perspective, Pinar Karsiyaka, when they're as direct as they've been on the last couple of possessions, Nymburk, I think, have a problem. To guard them one-on-one, I think is going to be a real issue for them if Pinar Karsiyaka really do pick the time to attack the defense. That's going to be a tough matchup for Nymburk.
Karsiyaka make both free throws. Now Ruban gets in and misses. Ball saved in bounds, but it triggers a break. Tony Taylor, and there for the follow was Mbai. So after a slowish start, it's Karsiyaka off to the races.
Is being substituted by number 32,
Just make sure the camera's okay. Oh, the dump again to Zimmerman. I mean, who would have thought Zimmerman would be leading Nymburk in scoring 4.5 minutes into the game?
Definitely not me, but he's done a really nice job on the when he sets the screen, presenting to the basketball, and you can't keep it simple. 3 from 3. He's been scoring from 2 feet and getting on the glass. Great start by him.
Tony Taylor, no good, but there on the boards is Raymar Morgan.
That's where Zimmerman's got to be a bit stronger, though. Really got to work on the glass.
And coming down and missing for Nymburk was Obasohan, who's checked in. Now Mbai launches from deep. And great job rebounding the basketball, Pruitt. Into the corner, Ruban, good! Oh. Give the assist to Obasohan.
Did so well, Ruban, to get himself set, you know, to produce the shot in the same way. It's just a great pass, great three. Nymburk basketball.
He's got 7 points to lead all scorers. Now Morgan. Is there anything that Morgan can't do?
No, there's
tough.
not. No, there's not. And if Zimmer's going to have to guard him when he's out, that's going to be a long old night. He's going to have to work very hard.
Terrific effort by Ruban to get the rebound off the Pruitt miss. And there's Obasohan driving in. And that's what they really need from him, is to get his feet wet, as he likes to say. Get into the paint and make things happen. But here's Sonsirma now. I've built him up, Mark. You can't let me down.
This
guy, you got to watch him.
Expectation has been raised, Jeff. He's had a great season. He's a great talent.
Well, driving and blocked was Sek Henry. But that man, Raymar Morgan, again, is there just to clean up the mess. It looked like Henry could have gotten to the free throw line.
Rebounds correct all sorts of mistakes, don't they? If you rebound, you can, the mistake can get forgotten. The full shot gets forgotten. And Morgan does so much, as you say, cleans up the mess.
So Raymar Morgan has gone to the line, and I think he's got 7 points now after that. Yeah, 7. He's got 3 rebounds. And he's just put his team back in front. Semi Erden now checks into the game. Obasohan. This is where he's dangerous again. And the foul was before the shot. I think anytime, Mark, you see Obasohan catch it at the top of the key, you pretty much know he's going to the basket.
Absolutely, Jeff. And they switched it, so you had Erdan guarding him, so he was always going to try and take him, but Erdan made it a little worse, gave him a chance to get going. It's great recognition, so quick.
Harding in the game as well. There's Obasohan, that was short. Now Harding. And the left-handed gunslinger misses. Now the drive and the basket that was tough for Amat Mbai. But the quick response team for Nymburk, they tie it with the three-pointer. Harding, and that's oh no, excuse me, that was a 2. Oh no, it was a 3.
No,
so 18 apiece. Game speeding up a little bit, perhaps. That's what Nymburk wants. Oh, not in my house. I think that was Berson who rejected Omar Pruitt, who has yet to score. It was Amat Mbai with the block. Erden, beautiful feed to Sonsirma. He gets it over to Pearson. Was short, follows up the miss, banks it in.
The game is very, very much an up and down game. I do think I think Nymburk are better at controlling things at this sort of pace. But at the moment, it's fun to watch. Harding's come to play.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is probably the best sign of all. Pruitt has yet to score, so you need somebody else to step up, and Harding has come off the bench and hit his first couple of jumpers.
The tempo is really good. I mean, it's going to slow down when Erden gets his hands on it, but when you can do that, it doesn't matter.
Tough move by big Semi Erden. Now Obasahan spins, gets in the lane, gets his feet wet, and that's what happens. Ties it again. Mbai just blows by Benda. Then Benda recovers and helps knock the ball away. Obasahan gets in the paint and earns a trip to the free throw line.
That's the last two penetrations. He's just gone, and gone really strong. Great second step, gets through the defense, and he knows he's going to get hurt there. He takes the hit, gets picks himself up off the floor to get to the line. Jeff, the best thing, or the thing that normally like Nymburk judge their defense by, is how they control or contain the penetration. At the moment, Karsiyaka are breaking them down, and that's going to worry Coach Amil in terms of he doesn't like that. He really does want to keep the ball in front of the defense, and that once they do that, they can gain control of the tempo. But at the moment, they just can't stop Karsiyaka attacking. One-on-one and breaking down the defense and kicking to the open shooter or getting to the ring themselves. They're struggling to do that, and that's going to worry him. But down the other end, Nymburk's tempo offensively is just excellent.
You kind of get the feeling that Nymburk believe they can probably outscore anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to get out and play a high-scoring game. That said, not a bad start for Karsiyaka here, though they trail by 2 points in the final 15 seconds of the opening quarter. Spinning, tough move, and the ball knocked away. It looked like Morgan had a shot going down. Safarchik fouled by Sonserma.
Yeah,
3.3 seconds to go. Yep.
Had the foul to give, so just ask the question of Nymburk from the sideline.
Yildirim checks into the game, the muscular Yildirim. Safarchik also goes out. Kovac comes in. Paliza, Safarchik, Safarchik still out there. No, Safarchik has gone out, excuse me. Well, they tried to throw it down low. Paliza gets it, puts it up. And that's how it finishes. So, high-scoring first quarter. And it's ERA Nymburk leading 24-22 over Pinar Karsiyaka.
Well, neither team is, should we say, setting any records from the three-point line, but you don't have that feel that it's been a bad offensive game. Both teams want to push. Both teams are beginning a lot of shots up, as you're going to see on these best plays of the first quarter. Jeff, what a great start for Nymburk and Zimmerman. I mean, that wasn't in the script for me. I thought Zimmerman was just going to have to work hard the whole game to cope with Morgan and cope with anybody else that was thrown at, but the guy came out and played really well, and that was a great sign for Nymburk. And I think the tone's set for the whole game. Both teams want to run and score.
Well, Omar Pruitt has yet to get it going. We saw Casey Shepard struggle in the first game for Nizhny Novgorod, and it's not to say that Pruitt is not going to get it going eventually, but you just never know who's going to be a major factor. I mean, he's an out-and-out scorer, Pruitt, and here he is getting blocked by Mbai. That said, I don't think Amiel would be too worried because he's got so many other players that have been able to start well. Those are some interesting Karsiyaka uniforms.
I've always thought that, Jeff. Almost camouflage-like.
They're very passionate.
You know what? I'm sure there's fans who want to buy them as well. I think it must be really popular with the fans. So
very passionate down in Izmir about their Pinar Karsiyaka team. Very, very nice part of the world. Now, Metejan Bersin handling the basketball. Bitten. Three-point shot. Again, this guy can sky if he gets a chance. I'd love to see it. Morgan. Yildirim. And here comes Harding. And Harding fouled by Bitten.
Again, another good foul. Harding was off, and I don't think there's any way they were going to contain him. So you'd have to take one for the team. As long as you foul front on like that, you're not going to fall into problems with an unsportsmanlike. So good foul.
Harding from the arc. Good rebound from Bersin. Got a great basketball body, doesn't he, Metejan Bersin?
Oh. He does a lot of blue-collar stuff for this team. Really does a nice job on the glass.
And Tony Taylor does a lot of scoring for Karsiyaka.
Absolutely.
Benda from the arc. And Bersin rebounds the miss, and then he is fouled.
First personal foul against.
So Safarchik with the body. And it doesn't look good for DJ Kennedy. He's getting taped up. So he's clearly injured one of those two fingers. I mean, could he have broken it possibly, the way they're taping it?
His facial expression, Jeff, when the physio touched it, when we got a look with the shot just after he went out, it looked very sore to the touch. So probably one of those really unfortunate ones. I mean, you can play with them, you tape it together, and you can get out there and play. If it's just a straightforward break, it's they've got a day after this. It's not going to mend. It's just whether or not he can play with the pain.
But the problem, Mark, is that it's his shooting hand is where it's happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if it's his little finger, Jeff, he'll be fine. But it's incredibly painful if that's what he's done. It's they'll have to numb it perhaps, but they can't numb it too much because that'll take any feeling away. It's a big, big loss for Karsiyaka's rotation, and it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that problem.
Well, it couldn't be any closer. A minute and a half into the second quarter, 24 apiece. In this quarterfinal between ERA Nymburk and Pinar Karsiyaka. And Harding reaches in, steals the basketball, hands it off quickly to Paliza. And Paliza, wearing number 23, will go to the line. And Harding has been very good tonight.
Jeff, you remember like the final 8 when he just arrived in Nymburk, came with a big heart, and they as a team played fairly poorly by their own standards, but he was one of the real good stories for them in that competition. They're going to review that foul to see if it was anything more than just a personal foul. There's a good chance they might call this unsportsmanlike, because you got to look where he comes from. And that's from, for me, that's from behind him. As you see, he goes past him.
It's a reaching situation, okay? He's reaching in the arm. He's not holding, okay? He's not holding, he's not maintaining the holding. So it's just attempt to go to the ball, okay? Do we have any other? This one? Going, he's reaching foul. Okay, good. We stay with normal. Occlusive, normal. Occlusive, yeah. Normal? Yeah.
Well, they said it was just a reaching foul.
Yep.
This seemed slightly aggressive. Seemed like there was a little bit of a hold.
But the great, it's the fact you get to hear the explanation, and I think the referees, you know, they know they're being, you can hear it, so they're obviously going to be giving you, you know, unequivocal information, easy to understand. I'd love the innovation, because otherwise you and I have been trying to guess why or whatever, and we're definitely not qualified for that one.
I mean, personally, I don't like seeing an unsportsmanlike foul called in that situation, whether it was or not, because it's just such a huge call.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they didn't call it. Here's Harding, and had to rush it up. Look at Morgan going up and getting another rebound. Boy, he is just a beast, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Pearson for three, doesn't go down, but it'll stay at this end.
I tell you, the great thing about him for me, Jeff, is it's summed up in that last play. He had an opportunity to take a tough shot, but he drew the defense, and even though he's got that power advantage, he still kicks it to his open teammate, because that's a high percentage shot. I mean, the guy's just trying to win, and you can't say enough good things about him. I think he's a real asset for this group.
Taylor, good, rattles in another one. Karsiyaka back on top by 2 points. 7 for Taylor, who won the Basketball Champions League with Virtus Bologna a couple of years ago. Safarczyk.
Karsiyaka stepping it up defensively now. They took away any rolls on that play. They switched, they denied. It was really hard work for Nymburk to get a look on that one.
Mbai from the arc. And now Harding. Bounce pass to Zimmerman, does a great job of picking that ball up. Dalton back in with 3 fouls. How in the world did he score? What a terrific finish.
He does add that length, gets to the far side of the ring, and so the ring could protect it, but wow, that's a tough finish under that much pressure.
Safarczyk rebounds and runs. To Zimmerman, over to Harding, who takes the bump and alertly puts it up. And another foul, Tony Taylor. And I'll tell you what, Taylor is crucial for Karsiyaka to have Taylor on the court for as many minutes as they can. And he's picked up a couple of quick fouls here. So he's got 2 fouls, and Sadija has to bring him out.
Pinar Karsiyaka, number 9, semi-urgent. On the bench, shooting 2, Jarek Harding.
So Pearson and so sorry, I think maybe actually is Tony Taylor going to stay in the game? Looks like he is.
That's where the rotation with DJ Kennedy doesn't help, does it? You know, they don't have that depth.
Look at the pressure, and Obasohan just a little late.
Yeah.
And Tony Taylor laid out and was able to get the foul. That was good hustle by Obasohan. I think in some ways Obasohan deserved better because he almost forced the turnover from the beginning.
I thought that's you, me, and Coach Emil thinks he should have got something better out of that, I think. That's that matchup zone.
The team misses from three-point range. Karsiyaka not doing anything down low. Oh boy, what a rejection from Raymar Morgan. The team drives in. Oh, that was a tough finish. He's definitely got some hang time.
It took a lot of contact on the drive, but the impressive thing is how they turned that defense into offense. They were so quick at getting numbers down the floor. Watch, they get the block and they're gone. You know, once they've got possession of it, they end up with, you know, something at the ring. Great protection of the basketball, took the contact, got a chance to make the three-point play. Started with the defense, finished with a point of transition. But they don't complete the three-point play.
Here's Obasohan passing to the corner. Now Pruitt, will this be it? Finally, yes it is. If that starts to fall, then it becomes worrying for Karsiyaka.
Oh, and how quick was Obasohan on that drive? It just blew past the defense and then just made the great pass. The extra pass gets the open shot. And again, it's Nymburk basketball.
But Morgan is just playing like the star lineup man that he's in. I mean, here's Obasohan again, though, answers quickly right at the stripe. Good hands, Dalton, to knock it away. Here's Nymburk and Ruban. Oh boy, Morgan yet again makes a play on defense. Not in this house, whosever house it is, not in this house, he says. Not in Nizhny, not in the Nizhny house. Look at that. Terrific extension. Pruitt again finds his way in, takes a very tough shot, and Zimmerman just doing the little things exceptionally well.
And it was so smart
like
because two guys tried to block, so he then got position, so he had a chance to get it in. I mean, like you said before the game, he got better over the season. He is doing such a good job. This season has really elevated him.
And there he is. He had the basketball. The ball did not touch the rim, so it goes out of bounds. I think one of your favorite phrases, Mark, and correct me if I'm wrong, is play to your skill sets. Is that right?
Yep.
And is
Absolutely.
that Steven Zimmerman tonight? He's not trying to do too much.
That's what he's doing tonight. No, and you know what? He's really extended some of his tool sets as well this season, because at the beginning of the year, I wasn't really sure. He's done a great job so far.
Boy, Ruban could not get it to drop as Nymburk tried to extend their lead to equal their biggest lead of the game of 6 points. Morgan passes up the three, puts it on the deck, drives, maybe force that one, and that allows, again, Pruitt to get out on the break. Nymburk, uh-oh, they're in the flow. Dalton, and dodged a bullet, did Pinar Karsiyaka. Haven't seen much from Sek Henry tonight. Hasn't really imposed himself. Shot clock winding down. And Morgan yet again, he's got 12 points. The more you watch him, the more you like him. Obasohan blocked. And such a good block that it went off of Nymburk. Great job by Semi Erden.
We talked in the first game, Jeff, about how you have to accept that at times Dylan Innes is going to take things you might think are not the best options. It's the same with exactly the same scenario with Abashoa. There are times you don't want him to make that drive, but if you stop him doing that, he's not going to give you all those other great things he gives you. Sometimes you have to just accept the occasional, forced shot because you want him to keep being the aggressor.
Yeah, and I was wrong there. Semi Erden didn't block it, but he got in a good defensive position. So Dalton has picked up his third foul on that play, so he has to go out. And Kovacs comes into the game. So that is potentially a problem.
Yeah, that's absolutely, Jeff. Dalton's so important in so many ways.
But they turn it over. Ruban in the open floor. Probes. Wow, what a great finish. Right in front of Henry.
He just took it out, and didn't he? Didn't give him any chance to or space to block. He just took away all the space to get the block. If he'd have gone for the block, he would have fouled him. It's a great finish.
Henry. Oh, Henry! And now it's back to a one-point game. Benda. They just got scores. This quarter hasn't been as high scoring as the first, but points slow to register. There they are now on the graphic for Nymburk. Good job defensively by Obasohan. And again, this is a top quality finish. Look at this.
Yeah. Henry's thinking, if I can get the chance, I got a chance to block this, but he just took it straight through him. No chance to block it, and this is Wojciech Ruban at his best, because he's not the best athlete on the floor, but he's one of the best basketball players. His footwork was great, protected the ball, finished the play. And as you say, this is your confirmation, Jeff, of how much it's slowed down scoring-wise. This last minute and 10, I think, is a big time for Karsiyaka, because at the moment, Nymburk have real good rhythm. I think Coach Jamil is going to lay it out here. They're going to try and push for this last minute.
Both of you got to sprint, so they chase you on the handoff. Get open. Better you come. You screen Lubo, screen. He's going to go one-on-one. Okay? And then we go for rebound. We go back
it's interesting. You talk about Ruban not being athletic, yet he does have decent length, doesn't he? I mean, and he's pretty skillful. Whereas you look at the team, and he's athletic and long.
Yeah. I think Wojciech Ruban, over the lifetime of the Basketball Champions League, it's actually followed. He's grown in the Basketball Champions League, and he's one of the best players in the Basketball Champions League. Does a great job with the Czech national team. He really does make the most of what he's got. He shoots the ball well, fundamentally really sound. He's athletic enough. It doesn't hurt him, his athleticism. He's just I think he's a great basketball player.
Obasohan takes the contact and earns another trip to the line. And we also saw right before play started, the trainers still working over there with DJ Kennedy, and they've taken the tape off now. And it just doesn't look good about him returning. So the free throw is good, and that was the third foul on Tony Taylor, coming with 1:08 remaining in the first half. So he's going to have to come out, surely.
That's bonus time for Nymburk for him to pick up his third foul with 1:08. You got to. It's always a debate. Do you take players out or do you leave them in? Well, they decided to leave him in, but it's obviously misfired. 3 fouls on Taylor.
And Karsiyaka in the lane too early there, so Basahan gets another one, and he makes it. So he goes out. So Tony Taylor, again, you talk about Kennedy not being available. How does that work into it? And you don't want to fall too far behind. Tech Henry throws it away. Tried to get it to Mahir Agva.
Substitution for Pinar Karsiyaka. Number 21, Tony Taylor, replaced by number 31.
Yeah, he has to take Taylor out now. Now they're on the defensive end. He's had the chance to take him out because of the turnover. So, not going to risk it anymore.
Well, Sonsirma has to play like he's capable of. I don't know. He hasn't been quite as assertive tonight. Maybe hasn't gotten as many minutes. Only played less than 4 minutes. Oh, that was a big play from Beerson, Medijan Beerson.
Again, it's
just Zimmerman a little bit
those
too
little
late.
things that when you talk about close games, just poor execution on that flare screen.
That was
Offensive
Kovac,
foul.
rather, who picked up the foul.
Yeah. If they run that properly and Ruban drops that rate up, and there's time they could end up the first half 10 up, but you know, the turnover gives Karsiyaka the opportunity to eat into that lead.
Zone or man-to-man. Zone or man-to-man. As soon as possible, please.
Well, I think Nymburk probably have a considerable advantage when it comes to the bench. So the loss of Kennedy is, and also Taylor now to 3 fouls, is felt more keenly by Pinar Karsiyaka.
100%, Jeff. The Nymburk are having to deal with Dalton being on the in foul trouble, and they've dealt with that pretty well. They've got contribution. Everyone, it's one of those situations. It's not about some one person coming in to deal with Dalton's problem. You've had a number of people come in across the roster, and they've all taken up a little bit of that slack. So that's what Karsiyaka don't have. They don't have that depth.
But what they do have is Raymar Morgan, and in one sense, he's almost like worth 2 players on the court at one time. He's such a hard worker. Look at him clearing out down low. There he is, getting the offensive rebound and put back. I mean, he really is. He is a force that leaves me in awe watching him play.
Yep. 100% agree. He's just, and especially at the moment, because you've lost 2 of your better perimeter scorers. He's going to have to go to work on the glass. He's going to have to possibly take more of the scoring load, and he's just doing whatever it takes. Does a great job.
Mark, he's got 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Yep. He is plus 20 efficiency, and we're not even at halftime. And you know, some of the other guys for Pinar Karsiyaka have to recognize that and say, I got to help out.
So, Pali, you are as a 4, right?
And those numbers don't even also reflect the fact that he doesn't make mistakes. The number of times he's put it on the floor and kicked it to an open shooter. He's the focal point for this team. They build it from him out, and he's more than capable of doing that.
Right? Pali is on the opposite, on the right side. Better make a slip. You make here, you come back, you make a slip, and you go in still. When Oba got the ball, you slip the screen, and Oba gonna go on one-on-one, and Omar in the corner. You got it? 1, 2, 3.
Well, it has been a tight contest. You felt like Nymburk were really in position to try to, to open up just a little bit of a lead here at the end of the first half. But as it is, they only lead by 3 points. They've done a decent job, Pinar Karsiyaka, of holding Pruitt in check. Obasanjan now. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Paliza back to Obasanjan, goes behind his back, steps back, and that's how it finishes. So they forced him to take a jump shot, and Pinar Karsiyaka won that little battle. It's ERA Nymburk, though, on top 41-38 over Pinar Karsiyaka at halftime.
Well, again, Jeff, we've talked about it all through the first half. The three-point shooting statistics are not what these two teams would normally expect. If you actually get a reasonable percentage out, you're talking a really high-scoring game. A lot of shots in the game, sometimes maybe too many forced, but we're set up nicely now. We're going to get some highlights of that first half, and this could have been a bigger lead for Nymburk, but Morgan almost single-handedly has kept Karsiyaka in this one.
Well, as we look back at the highlights, there are certain things that really stand out for this Nymburk team. And I think what you said right, what about Raymar Morgan is correct. He's kept him in the game. Antonio Taylor's had his minutes as well, but don't forget, he's got 3 fouls. But, you know, Nymburk have been able to get out and run a little bit. They've got 12 fast break points to just 6. Of course, some of those come off of turnovers. They've got 9 points off turnovers, just 2 for Pinar Karsiyaka. And also Nymburk, we talk about the strength of their bench when compared to Pinar Karsiyaka. They've got 19 points coming from the bench to just 6 for Pinar Karsiyaka. The one area where you see where Raymar Morgan really impacts the game are those second chance points, I think, and that's where Pinar Karsiyaka are not surprisingly leading 13-8. But Pinar Karsiyaka, what was it? They were ranked down at the bottom, lowest ranked in terms of turnovers, but they've actually got 8 turnovers, and they've only forced 2 turnovers against Nymburk.
Well, that number tells you a lot about the way Nymburk structure their defense in terms of where they force the ball to, but only averaging 9 on the season, already at 8. Yeah, that's also possibly the pressure of the game, but also, again, the fact that DJ Kennedy, key component of the backcourt, is out, and I'm not sure if he's going to be coming back, but they've got to find a way to lessen that negative impact. And again, it's that little debate between the individual athletic ability of Morgan and others on the Karsiyaka lineup, and this team concept that Nymburk put on the floor. It's fun to watch. They share the ball. They all know their roles.
So here is the question. The question is very simple in Russian.
Well, we know who this is going to be. It's
absolutely.
We've been talking about him all night. Raymar Morgan.
Pizza toppings, pizza ingredients as possible in 20 seconds. Let's go.
And as you watch these highlights, you appreciate his scoring ability, but you don't get the full gamut. You don't get the full run of what he does for the team. 8 points, 2 blocks as well. And like you say, he's not making mistakes. He's playing under control.
We have 7. Okay?
And meanwhile, Obasanjan, you know where he's going to hurt you. Typically, it's with his penetration. He is fearless. He's penetrating. If he's not scoring, he's passing.
Jeff, you know, the quickness is such a necessary component to players, and he is so quick. And because he can break you down and cause the defense to help, it's not just his own points he creates opportunities for others, be they on the glass in terms of the offensive rebounds, or he will draw defense. Super game for him.
Tomatoes, peppers, pineapple, not popular, pineapple, chicken.
Gets the ball back. Here's Akun Purcell. Oh, he gets in and gets double digits in style. Throws it down. He's got 11. Look at this.
Now Voloncevic. Good defensive possession, but great ball movement. Kicks it back out. Look at this, Casey Shepherd. Shepherd back in. Oh, what a team play that is. One of the team plays of the week, no doubt.
Kennedy with the rebound. He'll push this. You've got to stop DJ Kennedy in transition. Oh, he's going to go all the way. Kennedy taps himself on the head, as if to say, I wear the crown.
He just puts the defense on his backside, and that is Jeremy Boschek, who is no slouch. And that is a wonderful bit of individual offensive play by Keith Langford.
Sarum, a bounce pass. Bitton drives in. Are you kidding me? What a throwdown from Bitton.
Ennis pulls up, Hail Mary. It's good! It's good! He got it! Big shot three! Dylan Ennis from no man's land. 1, 2, 3 puntos. Buenas noches, Zaragoza.
By Bamberg, attacked. Fieler, chase Fieler with the throwdown. Biggest play of the night.
Oh, they go long. Zeus got it. Game! Hold on!
Madsen drives in. Oh, goodness me. Did you see that? He put it down with some thunder. Look at this. Throwing it down. Jefferson gets it over to Colson. He puts it up for three. Good! Bonte calls that, wins the game. Unbelievable. What a finish.
The point of the injury to DJ Kennedy is that someone on this Karsiyaka bench is going to have to step up. And at the moment, no one's really. You mentioned that Stephen Henry, like Henry, has to. Is possibly the guy that's really got to like become, a leader, and you've got to get guys coming off the bench. And at the moment, no one's really showing that they're going to be the guy that's going to step in and make a contribution. Because if they don't, they do need it, because I don't think, especially with the foul trouble, that Taylor's going to be able to be very aggressive defensively. So they've got to find some contributions off that bench, because Morgan can't carry them on his own. I mean, he's kept them in it. I don't think he can win it for him on his own, as good as he is.
Kennedy is out there warming up, so maybe he's taking some type of shot or something, because he's taking shots.
I mean, if it's the little finger and they tape it together and they give him something for the pain stuff, you can play with it. You've just got to be very mentally strong to try and get rid of it. Mentally, you've got to try and just put it out of your mind and play through it, because the guy, the physio, will be saying, look, it'll hurt for the instant, then you'll be all right. It'll hurt for the instant. The worst thing is when you catch it without catching it cleanly. And that's when it would really become a real painful thing. If it's broken, it can't get any worse, put it that way. So he's probably he's telling himself now, this is a one-off game. It's a fine late Basketball Champions League. I want to make a contribution. So he's going to do it. If he can, you know that DJ Kennedy's going to get out there and play. Jeff, that guy, Zimmerman, has been a real contributor for this Nymburk team. And the one thing they have got is contributions across the roster. And that's the way this team does it. They do it from 1 to 12 and they get contributions. And that's why they are the highest ranked team when it comes to points in games, because they got so many people that can hurt you at the offensive end.
Yeah, and I think worrying for Pinar Karsiyaka is the fact that some of those guys haven't even warmed up yet. Pruitt, Paliza, those guys have combined for 4 points on 1 of 6 shooting, and Hayden Dalton can score more than 2 points. He's 1 of 5.
Yep.
So I think both teams have candidates, players that can step up. The big question is which ones will step up. Sonserma's getting the start here in the third quarter for Pinar Karsiyaka. But welcome back, folks. If you've just stepped away from the game to get a tea or a frosty cold one, Sonserma getting the start here for Karsiyaka and picks up the foul, and DJ Kennedy still has his warm-ups on, so not a good sign from that standpoint. And now an over and back violation called on Ruban. And he's talking to the referee saying there has to be a foul there. I don't think so. I think that's a good...
I was waiting to see the contact. There was no contact. Not enough anyway.
No, I think the referee's got that one right. So, Sek Henry. Shot clock winding down, and offensive foul called on, is it Morgan?
Yeah, Sonserma didn't do him any favors there. Didn't really go far enough away to let Morgan reposition. So it's just a totally avoidable foul, and anything that's a negative for Morgan is bad for Karsiyaka.
Metejan Beerson this time, kind of falls into the Nymburk man. Just kind of lost his balance. Well, he was actually pushed a little bit by Ruban. Pruitt feels the contact coming, just throws it up. Now Beerson with the rebound, and he runs. And then the ball goes off of Beerson.
It's been a really totally out of sync with the rest of the game. The beginning of this third quarter has been, mistake, poor foul, turnover. It's been a very messy start.
Pruitt again rejected. And then Rubin again comes in and makes the play. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Terrific play by the unathletic Rubin. I think he proved us both wrong on that one.
Yeah, but what a steal, though. I mean, his reading of the game, phenomenal. And then there was no way he was going to let anyone get involved in blocking that. That's a statement that he's going to try and make this second half get underway properly.
Does not get the three-point play, however. Nymburk trying to turn up the defense and speed up the game. Sirma. Morgan scrapping away. And your point about how he's not going to be able to win it on his own, I think, is absolutely true. And this Pinar Karsiyaka team is crying out for somebody else to step up.
And Jeff, it's interesting. Like, I know Taylor's on 3 fouls, but they've not started the second half with him. If DJ Kennedy is going to play, find out now. Don't wait. Find out now if he's going to play.
Oh, Raymar Morgan is just not having any of it, is he? He just rejected Zimmerman. He is an unbelievable player. Tough move, though, and Nymburk just winning by sheer numbers. Pruitt, no-look pass. Rubin for 3. This time it's Medijan Birsen with the rebound. Now Sek Henry. Sek, what the heck? You got to put it up. Now Morgan. Mbai flirted with a charge. Here's Henry. Got it. That's what you need, Pinar Karsiyaka.
Yeah. Did a great job there. They explored lots of things. Oh, tough move.
I think Nymburk has to be careful. They want to speed it up, but they don't want to get out of control.
Jeff, that's such a great point, because I think that they're so good when they run, Nymburk, but under control. You know, they get balanced, they have good spacing, all those things, and they're always in their own rhythm. Now they're just out. They're too quick. That's a great block by Morgan. If you get into an athletic competition with Karsiyaka, Karsiyaka beats you, I think. If you're Nymburk, I don't think you've got the athletes to compete. But you do have the style of game to compete in transition.
Yeah, very good point. And now Benda comes out and is whistled for a foul. Yep. And you just cannot put it any other way for Karsiyaka. Morgan is just carrying this team incredibly. That was a huge 3, though, for Sek Henry as well. And they need probably Henry or Mbai. I would say Henry to step up. Here's Mbai driving, and they're going to count it. Looky here, folks. Pinar Karsiyaka have tied it and now have a chance to go in front.
Well, across the season, Mbai is averaging double-digit points, and it should be no surprise, that he's done really well with the French national team. He's so physically strong, can finish plays. He's got to take up some of the DJ Kennedy slack.
Well, that was Mbai coming up with a steal, but then passed it too quickly to Sek Henry, who hadn't gotten across midcourt yet. I just feel like Nymburk are out on the runway, ready to take off, and they just can't get clearance. Pinar Karsiyaka not allowing him to go. They've pulled it back to 43 apiece. Shot clock about to expire, and, well, good defense once again from Pinar Karsiyaka.
Jeff, we talk a lot about keeping the offense in front of you. They contained every single cut, every single potential dribble penetration, and everything was running front, and they end up with no option. They'd have had, Obashoa would have had to have taken the long three. That's all they had. It's looking good for Karsiyaka at the moment. They need someone else to help this guy.
Henry, will it be his second three? Yes, it will! Sek Henry, 2 3-pointers now in the third quarter. And Pinar Karsiyaka have taken a 3-point lead. And guess what? That's their biggest lead of the game. In fact, I think it's their only lead of the game.
And yeah, you've been saying it. Is Sek Henry the answer? And at the moment, him and Mbaye, the last 2 possessions have scored. That's got to be a good sign for him. It's an 8-2 start to the third. They've got some momentum. What's going to be really important for them coming out of this timeout is they've got to play the same type of defense they've played for the last 3 or 4 possessions.
You got to get open. You make a play and you come to him. Omar here. I want, listen to me. Zim is going to be here, right? I want him on Peter and Zim. You pass to Zim and you pass backdoor to Voita. 1, 2, 3. You understand who you pass?
This quarterfinal, 6 minutes and
You know,
45
don't lose sight of the fact
seconds
that
we have now a
when we
three-point
see the
game.
Ruban steal and the dunk here, and it looked like it was game on here for Nymburk. But look at Morgan. I mean, he just like just took over defensively. He got that block. Now, of course, they got it back, but then he got another block. But the thing about Morgan is he has to do it for basically 40 minutes, it seems like. Here's Ruban going down, and Mbaye went up and challenged him. That was a great attempt at a block by Amat Mbaye.
And the great thing, Jeff, it doesn't matter that he gets called for the foul here. This is another, I'm going to help you play for him like with Morgan. I'm going to compete. I'm going to try and make this tough. You know, Ruban's going up to flush another one, and Mbaye says, no, go to the free throw line and earn it. And they're starting to come. They're starting to come for with help from Morgan. It'd be interesting to see when Taylor gets into the game, the impact he can have.
And that was a good call by the ref. You can see he got him on the on the wrist with a hand. But yeah, definitely it's like nothing is coming easy in here. Don't think about taking it to us. It's Fonseca now, brings it up the floor. Hasn't really lit it up like I thought he might. Morgan goes to work again. And Fonseca batted it away. Okay, now Ruban has it in the open floor. Bounce pass to Zimmerman, doesn't control it this time, and it's Bearson and off to the running. And Bearson puts it up and in. Their biggest lead of the game now, Karsiyaka. Omar Pruitt, that's off. Good effort on the boards by Nymburk. I think it was Ruban that knocked it back out. Bounce pass again to Zimmerman, knocked away. Great defense by Pinar Karsiyaka.
It's both the defense on the ball, but they've picked this pick and roll now. They were getting hurt early in it. It's a much better, it's a switch. It's a much better execution at that end. And then what they've done really well, at point of transition, they've run out of their defense, scored off their defense, and they had the 4-point lead. And that wasn't how it was looking. That, if you remember back, 7-point lead that Nymburk had going in towards the half. And the end of that half gave Karsiyaka the chance, and now they're right in it, 4 up. And if any team has momentum, it's them.
Well, Obasohan misses the layup, but again, they get it back. But a very difficult moment of the game for Nymburk. Dalton back in with the 3 fouls. Here he is. Launches from the arc. Morgan got his hands on it. but not able to stay in bounds and retain possession.
Jeff, there's a lid on the basket for Nymburk at the moment. You know, guys that are normally knocking down shots, the defense is extended. It's just, there's pressure. They're having to shoot from that much further out. They're having to make a tougher move. It's a great defensive effort at the beginning of the third. They've just got to maintain.
Well, finally, they get one to drop from Jakob Tuma.
First open look, got a lot of separation. And that's what I'm saying. You can't just decide to do it in a couple of minutes at a time. You've got to be relentless defensively.
Morgan goes right at Kovac and then follows up his miss. But offensive foul.
Very late call. You know, I think it is a foul, but they didn't make the call until he got the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
Substitution. Number 1 of Pinar Karsiyaka and the Person replaced by number 17, DJ Kennedy.
Well,
so
Kennedy's
come into the game. So let's see if he can play. That was a big call because it puts Paliza on the line with a chance to tie it, and the free throws have not been going in for Nymburk. Just 7 of 12 at the line after that miss. Incredible. 7 of 13, shooting in the 50s. That foul, by the way, was on Tony Taylor. So he's got 4 fouls. Mbai stops, and unfortunately for him, now interesting, Kennedy was able to get in there, get the rebound, put it up and score. But it came after the shot clock. So Taylor staying in the game with 4 fouls. So I guess this is a gamble that Sarija feels like he has to take. Nice drive by Harding. Gave him a lift in the first half, and here he is tying it at 48.
He's just instant offense. Didn't think, just ripped it through. Nice touch with the left hand.
Mbai from the arc. Can't get it to drop. Mbai. And now the ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay at this end. Mbai is shooting okay overall. 4 of 8 from the floor, but he's 0 for 3 from three-point range. Tuma probes. Here he is. Gets the layup. Boy, he's come out and made some plays, hasn't he?
Where did he come from? He had nowhere to go. The help defense just completely went to sleep. Nice finish.
I think they were expecting him to pass, and he's like, okay, you're not going to guard me. I'm going to go have a layup drill. Here's Morgan, turns, and fouled by Kovas. Lubos Kovas.
Foul is on number 21.
And here's my problem, Jeff, that there's no reason that Karsiyaka can't contain that dribble. But as a team, they just stopped defensively. Morgan found himself switched on. No one's helping. Maybe he could have done a better job on the ball, but
wow, that was a timely shot by Sek Henry. His 3rd three-pointer of the 3rd quarter. You're right about the defense from Karsiyaka. That is the key. Harding
Ironically, Jeff, Morgan hasn't seen the ball, you know, offensively for a while. It'd be good to give him a touch right now.
How about that, though, Zach Henry?
Yeah.
This has been
like
his
you asked
quarter.
Zach Henry to come to play, and he's come to play in this quarter, hasn't he? Now he's made the threes. Now he's going to take it to the ring.
Yeah, he's got 11 points in the third quarter. 4-7 from the arc. And here is a chance for a three-point play. Short. And Glizic, I don't know if he says somebody got into the lane too quickly there for Pinar Karsiyaka.
Yeah, that's the offensive rebound on far side from the camera. Was in way before.
So Batim comes in, also Simi Eridan in. So these are big moments now for Pinar Karsiyaka, with especially Morgan out of the game. Simi Eridan has to deliver. Dalton from the arc. DJ Kennedy rebounds the miss. He's definitely had something. I mean, he looks like he's able to play. Oh, shifty move from Kennedy. Fakes the handoff. Mbai gets inside. He's denied. And with 8 seconds on the shot clock, Karsiyaka have got possession. I love the fact that they let him play there.
Yeah.
Sonsirma, shot clock winding down. Gets to the baseline. Back outside it goes. Mbai doesn't get it off in time.
Oh, no, they're going to wipe that, yeah.
He finally hits his three-pointer, but it's going to be waved off.
Yeah, 0-0 on the shot clock above the ring. Jeff, the issue I think Nymburk have here is this is becoming a very un-Nymburk-like game. They're not being able to get any offensive rhythm. They're having to make, individuals are going to have to are making plays. It's not, they're not moving the ball. They're not getting much in transition. And then you have plays like that where they're trying to force the issue. And they're not, Karsiyaka can win the game if they keep the game like that. It's going to take a huge effort defensively in that fourth quarter.
The style of play is favoring Pinar Karsiyaka.
Yeah.
Nymburk are not in the flow. Sonsirma misses with the drive. 4-on-2 break. They've got options. They pass it over to Tuma. And Simi Eridan called for a push on Hayden Dalton. Boxing him out.
Credit to Karsiyaka's transition defense. They got people back, you know, even that shot's challenged, but at one point they had 4-on-2 in that transition situation, Nymburk. Now, that Nymburk 4-on-2 are normally going to finish with a layup. They're normally going to finish with a wide open look. Great effort by Karsiyaka to get back, but they just aren't functioning offensively at all. 50-53 at the end of the third. This is not Nymburk basketball. The team that leads the BCL Basketball Champions League in points, down at 50 points at this stage. This isn't the way they win basketball games.
And their free throw woes have not helped tonight. They were 7 of 13 at the line before that. So now they're 8 of 14. And Dalton makes both. It hasn't helped that Dalton. I mean, the reality is that Pruitt hasn't really been a factor at all. Just 3 points. And Dalton has been held in check as well. He's just got 4 points. Sonsirma short again. I can't believe I
Jeff, those are the guys. Those are the guys that when they're running their stuff with a half-quarter transition, they're the guys that are focused. They're like focal points, and they're the guys that get shots. They're not just not getting looks.
Here he is, Tuma again. Good. Well, welcome to the party, Jakob Tuma. He puts
they got numbers down the
back
floor.
in front.
Yep, numbers down the floor. They moved the ball, the extra pass, the wide open look, this time in rhythm.
Medejan Bearson looking for space, hands it off. The team gets it back to Bearson. Good, boy, that was great teamwork. Wonderful passing. A little give and go, or 1-2, whatever you want to call it, on the perimeter.
55, Pinar Karsiyaka, 56.
The team reacts to the shot, and Pinar Karsiyaka lead it 56-55 with 10 minutes remaining.
Well, this is Pinar Karsiyaka. This is their type of basketball. Their three-point percentage starting to climb. Nymburk's still down there under 20% from the three-point line. They have their woes. They have those big woes on the free throw line. And this third quarter is not going to look like Nymburk basketball. It's going to look like that. It's going to look like Karsiyaka blocking shots, coming down the floor, making plays. And now they've got Sek Henry going. Now they've got Mbai going. Morgan's getting the help that he needs. If it carries on like this, you've got to say, I would say at the moment that Karsiyaka are the team that could well be favored at the start of the fourth if the game is played the way it's been played in the third. I think they win the game if it carries on being played like this. Nymburk have to start asserting their style of game and more plays in transition, more early shots in transition, and then they'll be fine. But at the moment, Karsiyaka with transition points like this, the threes from Sek from the perimeter, and you've still got Morgan. I make them favorites at the moment, Jeff. They're playing their style of basketball, largely thanks to this guy.
Yeah, there's no doubt Morgan is the MVP. And really, it's interesting. Well, Tuma's done a good job of keeping Nymburk close. In fact, he's got 7 points, all 7 points coming in that quarter. But Morgan has just been immense, and he's catching a breather. Fourth quarter action underway here in the second quarter final. Remember, the winner of this game will advance to play Casa de Monte Zaragoza in the semifinals of the Basketball Champions League. Casa de Monte Zaragoza beat host Nizhny Nymburk. Excuse me, Nizhny Novgorod earlier today. Right there at the buzzer was Son Serma finally getting one to drop. So a 3-point lead. Kennedy coming out and playing some defense. Paliza, nice give and go. Oh, they find that's the Nymburk game, the passing, and they find the layup.
Get the reaction from the defense, then you move, then you read it, and yet Peter Bender, all 38 years old, just stepping into a space and they find him. That's their basketball, absolutely right. But they're also, their defense always generates a lot of offense for them, and they haven't done that in the third. They're going to have to get up. Now the foul trouble has hurt them, so they play their basketball at the offensive end and get a stop, and now they've got a chance to lead it.
I mean, you have to think with Sarija, how long can I go without Sek Henry and without especially Raymar Morgan on the courts?
The answer's got to be no time at all. They don't need. Yeah, there's 8:40 to go. You know, those guys can play, and I don't think it'll be too long before they're back in the game. They're going to call that offensive.
Against Peter Bender, his third team first.
So Bender
back on the record, 22, Sek Henry.
Has to be the most called infraction in basketball these days.
Yep.
So Kennedy was able to give some minutes. Sek Henry comes back into the game. The team pump fake. Bearson, same spot, same result as where he hit the shot at the end of the third quarter. Obasohan goes behind his back. They find Harding open from the arc. It rattles out. Oh, what a great rebound from Dalton. Boy, that was huge.
Oh. He had no right to get that offensive rebound. He was boxed out. He had two opponents in better positions. He's just so long. That's a great effort.
I just don't think he gets that rebound if Morgan's in the game.
You're absolutely. He doesn't get that rebound at all. You're absolutely right.
Pearson again. Will it be his third three? Not this time, but Semi Airden able to knock it back out to the perimeter to Betim. And now Sek Henry trying to work some magic for three. Not this time. Harding rebounds, gets across midcourt, and is fouled by Betim.
Yeah, that's a good foul because they had all sorts of options behind Betim. If he didn't foul then, it was going to be an easy two at best. At worst, it could have been a spot-up three. Yeah, it's just saying it's good technique and not getting the unsportsmanlike, but still fouling intentionally to stop the break.
His second team first.
Well, they're going to look at it.
That's interesting because he was in front. It's going to be an interesting one. Let's take a listen.
Which kind of contact we have? Give me main wait. Camera. Give me okay, master in normal speed. Okay. Okay, now back. Stop in the contact. Stop now. Okay, and give me handheld right. Right. Okay. This is not a unsportsmanlike foul. This is conclusive because there's no intention to play the ball. So shooter is number 11. Yeah.
Big call, Mark.
It's unsportsmanlike foul.
See, I like the call, Jeff, because there isn't an intention to play the ball. I just have an issue with the one that wasn't called earlier on, which was also no intent to play the ball, but they said that was just a slap and then release. I don't really see the difference between the two. I love hearing it, though, because it really is an education, because I'd never want to be a referee personally, but the judgments, and when they explain them, everybody knows what's going on. Big 2 free throws for Nymburk, given their free throw problem has been really acute in this game, but this will tie it up and then they have the ball. Big call, absolute big call. This stage of the game.
Well,
man, they can't buy 2 in a row.
No, 50% on that trip to the line. Karsiyaka still with a 1-point lead. So it could have been a massive trip down the floor.
1 point down, 50% from the line, Jeff. That's going to kill them if they lose this game.
Obasohan reverses track, gets in. They're going to keep it at this end. Inbounds pass. Obasohan catches. Didn't look like he was ready for that.
Absolutely right, Jeff. He was, and then he shot it, and I don't know if he needed to shoot it that quickly either. Get yourself balanced. I tell you, Peter Bender's getting extended minutes here today, and a lot of that's down to the injury, the foul situation. Ruban's in the game now, but it's going to be. This is a key moment, I think, for Nymburk. They're going to have. If they can't establish their starter game in the next minute or so, they're going to have to win this game, beating Karsiyaka the way they want to play. And now Morgan's back, so the world gets a much difficult place to live if you're a Nymburk player.
Yeah, Betim misses. I'm not sure that's the shot they want. I mean, you won't.
No.
Especially early in the shot clock. Harding. Turns around, puts it up, can't get the drop. Medejan Birsen Rebounds it, carries the ball up the floor himself.
Again, not Nymburk basketball.
Pearson, long rebound to Sek Henry. The team, and he can't make it. And I'll tell you, Nymburk are riding their luck because Pinar Karsiyaka are missing some open threes. Hayden Dalton to Obasohan. Back to Dalton. That's good. You know, curiously, Dalton seems the one player that seems comfortable in these difficult circumstances for Nymburk. And he proved it on this one. Do you remember how he got that offensive rebound and putback?
Yeah. I mean, don't get us looking at it a second time, but you know, Tim just stepped off him a little. That's all he needed, just him stepping off a little bit, inside, outside. Let's take a listen to the Karsiyaka timeout.
So Mark, Hayden Dalton now with 9 points, and that was his first make from three-point range. As a team,
foul
they're
trouble
5
kills
of
you, Jeff.
24. Yeah.
You know, foul trouble, and that's, I think, has really hurt the team as well. Their rotations are have been completely changed because of the foul trouble to Dalton in particular, and they just haven't had the same rhythm. And he himself, he's only now getting into the rhythm of the game. Great work on the offensive glass. He's getting his he's got his offense going with the three. And so things are looking a little brighter for Nymburk. This one's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, I think if I'm Nymburk, I'm really disappointed with the with the lack of scoring, certainly from Omar Pruitt and also Lucas Paliza. You know, just 4 points from those guys, and those guys can each pour in 30 a game.
Yep. Pruitt's becoming anonymous as the game goes on. You hear he's less and less involved.
Well, he's in the game now,
he's
so
got to get that rebound.
And that's what happens when you don't get the rebound. The offensive board goes back to Karsiyaka, and Mbai hits the three-pointer. 13 offensive rebounds apiece, in fact.
15 seconds to go on the 24-second shot clock.
Alley-oop. Oh, boy, what a play that was. And look who it was as well, Zimmerman.
Jeez, what a finish.
Omar Pruitt with the assist. Sek Henry now. Again, Sek Henry. Becoming rather legendary tonight. So it's back to a 2-point lead for the team from Turkey. Bounce pass, Zimmerman. This time he missed, but he was fouled. And this brings up the prospects of more free throws for Nymburk, which for their fans must make them cringe. Just a terrific pass. And a great finish by Zimmerman. Terrific pass by Pruitt. So Zimmerman, I don't want to jinx him, but he's one of the Nymburk players now who hasn't missed at the line tonight.
Jeff, come on, that's absolutely gonna jinx him, right?
Hayden Dalton also is perfect, as is Obasohan. Yes, I did jinx him, but apologies.
But 50% of the free throw line, it could cost them a place in the semifinal at this rate.
Sek Henry, and that's a 2 if it goes.
Oh.
Boy, he's got the wind in his sails. I mean, he has become the leading scorer now for Pinar Karsiyaka with 17 points. Dalton answers. Wow. Well, we can't complain without
three quarters. No one can hit a three now. It's like throwing it in the ocean now. But Nymburk have to work this one out. Keep Morgan off the glass and try and make Henry shoot over you. And then it's Mbai's turn. But
Ruben went for the steal there and he fouled.
Team third. Correction, team fourth.
Well, this game just kind of shows how close, really, the Basketball Champions League has been this season. That was Morgan missing. Dalton drives in. Boy, that was a tough finish. He's playing like an all-star now.
Yep. But again, they moved the ball and created advantage. Yeah, create some advantage and get a high percentage shot.
Mbai from the arc. This is the Basketball Champions League, folks.
Wow.
The stakes are high, and Mbai catching fire at the right time. Now 2 of 5 from deep, and he's got 16 points. Obasohan explodes, blocked. Look at Zimmerman scrapping away. But I think they called the foul, which sends Obasohan to the line.
Number 1,
Nymburk fans at home here going, no, we'll take the sideline possession. We don't want the free throws the way things are going.
Okay.
That's what they've got. They've got the end line. So it must have been a foul on Zimmerman on the loose ball.
Okay, okay.
Sigh of relief everywhere in the Czech Republic.
Dalton just looking for space. Now Ruban turns. And Pearson with the rebound. Karsiyaka leading by 1, 2.5 minutes remaining in this quarterfinal thriller. Obasohan with a little reach, a little bit of contact.
His fourth penalty.
Yeah, you'd like to see Karsiyaka now, if they've got transition, fine, take it, but give Morgan some touches, goes a little inside outside. Taylor, you've got to hope he's in the rhythm of the game as well. But if they give Morgan some touches, they'll create the opportunity from the perimeter, and they've been shooting the ball lately very, very well. But don't forget Morgan, give him some touches, make sure you keep that Nymburk defense honest.
Four fouls now on Obasohan. And Taylor makes both free throws. Six of 9 at the free throw line for Pinar Karsiyaka. Now the miss, but Zimmerman there for the rebound, passes it outside, and Morgan comes up with the basketball. He's going to go in. He's going to dunk it. And I think they may have called a foul.
Yep.
They have indeed. And if it's on Obasohan, that is his 5th. So Obasohan went for the block, and he definitely fouled him. So that's it for him. Boy, perhaps a fitting play there, sequence for Raymar Morgan. He's gone kind of quiet, hadn't he? And now he comes out and makes a huge play.
Since he's been back in the game, obviously Sek Henry and others have been scoring points. Got a timeout with Nymburk, with a 20-point fourth quarter for Karsiyaka. They're not done yet either in this quarter. It's been other people have stepped up in this period, and that's why I think they needed to give Morgan touches. Obviously not like that in transition. That's make sure this defense stays honest, and then you're going to get those same looks on the perimeter if Morgan doesn't score. They're in control of their destiny now. They've got control of the situation.
Okay, to go. All right.
Let's take a listen.
If he got the ball on the break, let him play. Don't come immediately. All right? Let's go X. Let's go X. They switch, okay? Omar, you come up. You got it? You know X? Play here, come back. Play to Omar. Pass to Omar. Watch Peter. All Voita on the corner. You play to Omar. Hayden, you go all the way. 1, 2, 3.
Mark, you play all season to get to the end of season tournament, whether it's a Final 8, a Final 4, and for Nymburk right now, it is not going right, just as it didn't go right for Nizhny Novgorod in the first game. But you have to give credit where it's due, and Pinar Karsiyaka, you know, they had kind of a backs-to-the-wall performance in the first half, just really battled. And here they are now with a 5-point lead and a chance to make it 6. Still a pretty long way to go, though.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that was a well short free throw. So that was a little bit of a break for Nymburk. Who do they go for? They pass it, and they get it to Benda down low. And Pruitt goes down. And the foul, and Karsiyaka.
Foul is on number 3. Omar Pruitt.
Karsiyaka with a real opportunity here.
Penalty.
See, Jeff, as much as you've got to respect Peter Benda, his career and everything else, I don't get the call to give it to Benda as your first option offensively. Dalton's playing really well at the moment. You've still got Luban on the floor. You've got Jarek Harding with the basketball, and you've got Omar Pruitt. Now, okay, Omar Pruitt's not having a great game, but surely Peter Benda is not your first choice.
Wow, he misses both free throws. Can you believe it? Ruban. Well, Ruban drives in and meets a wall of defenders and comes up empty. Great defense. And Beerson catches and puts it up and in. And right now, Pinar Karsiyaka are looking formidable. John Beerson has
Jeff,
now got 12.
See, this again, that's not what Nymburk have been successful at, forcing plays like that. And as we've been saying in this second half, they're trying to win a game playing like Karsiyaka, and Karsiyaka are going to win if that's the way they're going to go, because they're just better at that. They've got more athletes trying to make those tough finishes, and they're shooting the ball very, very well.
Much better that time from Harding. Mark Beerson, meanwhile, 12 points, 13 rebounds.
Yep. Odd.
He's been tough.
He's been immense since he came in early, and he's been absolutely immense.
Karsiyaka drive, and this time rejected was Sek Henry, and Nymburk get the basketball. Oh, it looked like Dalton might have gotten a hand on that at the end. They don't look at it.
Big possession here.
Harding. Long 2 if it goes. And it's like you say, Mark, they're playing Pinar Karsiyaka's game right now.
Yep.
Mbai drives in, banks it in. And the fans back in Izmir are no doubt right now enjoying themselves, watching their team open up an 80-73 lead over ERA Nymburk.
I mean, the irony, Jeff, it's Karsiyaka who get the stop. The ball doesn't touch the floor. They pass the ball down the floor. They get something good in transition. Going the other way, Nymburk are having to force shots. They're having to try and take the ball in traffic and finish through people. That's not the way they play. And credit where it's due, Karsiyaka have made the game being played this way, and at the moment they look like they're going to get the win.
We play clock, but I want Hayden here. I want you to pass to Hayden, okay? And then you cut. If you have a backdoor for dunk, we go dunk. If not, we continue. We try to get the shot. You know the play as a one. You start here, okay? You pick. Hey, and then we foul all the way until the end of the game. We foul, they go to the line, we play again, quick offense. 1, 2, 3.
Well, we could be here for a while, Mark. You heard that. Expect Nymburk to foul and hope that they miss free throws. But if they don't get steals, but it's just been a tough night at the offense here, especially in the second half for Nymburk. 9 seconds on the shot clock. I mean, that guy's like a king, isn't he? I could just see him sitting at a throne with a big, with the king's hat, whatever you call it, the crown and everything else. Here's Harding. And offensive foul, and that's pretty much going to do it. Wow, total respect for Pinar Karsiyaka. The way they have played, the grit, the physicality, you have to appreciate it, don't you?
I think, especially the way the first half was. But the first half, well, they really did just have to hang in there. And okay, Morgan was the guy carrying them. He kept them in it. But that little period before the halftime, we always talk about that period. 7-point lead for Nymburk that could have gone to 10, could have gone to 11. In the end, it's a close one at the half. Karsiyaka, that gave him a platform for the second half. And then, as we've been trying to say throughout the whole of the game, Morgan needed some help, but in the second half, he got it in spades.
He did in the end,
great performance by Sek Henry. Great and Bai came through for him. And everyone took a little piece of the DJ Kennedy slack. And then, as you said, like bursting with the double-double. This team found contributions in the second half, and they are a threat going forward. We've said right from the beginning, any team has the chance to win this because it's so competitive this year. Well, they've just showed you they have as well.
Well, Dalton went up for the putback dunk. And it is a disappointing conclusion once again for ERA Nymburk at the Basketball Champions League Final 8. Pinar Karsiyaka, I don't know about you, but who knows? Maybe Turkey will have a team that goes on to win this competition. The way they have put it together tonight makes you think they've got a real chance of becoming the first Turkish team to win the Basketball Champions League.
Well, it's going to be, and I'm sure lots of people are going to be doing a lot of work between now and the semifinals, but the matchups in that semifinal, there's some intriguing, mouth-watering matchups. Like Zaragoza have the bodies to guard Morgan. You know, is Morgan going to lift his game to yet another level? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. And in the backcourt, if people can stay out of foul trouble, that's going to be the key, because Karsiyaka are not as deep. They can stay out of foul trouble. That's going to be an intriguing matchup. And well, these two first ones have been good enough. That's got classic semifinal written all over it.
Sek Henry trying to finish it off with a slam, but it doesn't matter. Pinar Karsiyaka have come out tonight. They ground their way through a very difficult first half, and they finally got to grips with the game in the second. Raymar Morgan carried them for much of the game. They win it 84-73 over ERA Nymburk. Well, look at that. I'm not sure how many people believed they would even make it this far after that difficult loss at home to Holon, but you know what? They believed in their chances. They finished 3-3 in the last round to advance. They clinched second place. And it is all about survival, isn't it? And they just survived.
You have enjoyed your participation in the
Jeff,
2021
absolutely. Survive and carry on. But, you know, looking at those numbers there, 22% from the three-point line. This is the leading scorers of the Basketball Champions League. You know, 20 points under their normal average. You know, they were poor from the free throw line. Their three-point game was just non-existent. It's a disappointment again for Nymburk. One of these times they're going to come to this and play like they play in the regular season. But Mbai with 20 and Henry with 19. Well, Morgan got his help. He was on his own scoring in the first half. Those two came through in the second. I like the way they imposed themselves on the game. They made the game be played the way they want it to be played. Their defense was excellent. So this is, they're a live contender. And that semifinal against Zaragoza looks intriguing.
Yes, it does. And, well, they will. Now we'll get a chance to look back at some of the best plays from the second half. And any of the best plays will be of small consolation for Nymburk fans. But for Pinar Karsiyaka, it's a real lesson of perseverance, of hard work, of being determined defensively, and identifying your opponent's strengths and trying to take those away from them, and also dictating rhythm of games, and it's like you say, imposing your style of play on the other team, which they did tonight.
I mean, Jeff, we saw in one of those highlights there, you know, the penetration to the kick, which is, you know, stopped for not just Nymburk, but for the Czech national team. They do a great job at penetration and then sharing the basketball because they have an advantage over the defense. All that Karsiyaka just in the second half in particular just said, you're not going to penetrate par. I'm going to contain you, and you're going to have to either make a great move yourself, or you're going to have to run something pretty special to come up with the open shot. Because I don't think at any stage in that second half did Nymburk get anything out of Nymburk basketball. There was plays like that from Dalton where he had to force the issue, make a great individual play, and they got some points in transition. Apart from that, everything was a tough shot because the defense that Karsiyaka played. They really did make a statement with the way they played defense. Not pressing, just pressuring Nymburk out of what they wanted to do. Great performance. You know, they're having a great time in Turkey, third in the Turkish league at the moment. Now they're in the semi-final of the Basketball Champions League. This is looking a great season for them.
Well, Nymburk, you know, all season long, got some great performances from a whole cast of characters, and you never like to point the finger at anybody, but it was just a tough night at the office for Omar Pruitt, who was just 1 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 6. But you know what? I mean, I can remember him driving on a couple of occasions and just meeting the long arms and hands of Pinar Morgan and Amat Enbai. I mean, it was very tough to get anything going against this Pinar Karsiyaka team. I mean, Lucas Paliza, 14.5 minutes, really didn't do anything. So they really did take Nymburk out of their game. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. 84-73, Pinar Karsiyaka win it over ERA Nymburk. 2 more quarterfinals tomorrow. We'll see you there.
Wojtek, you won the first half. You had only 2 turnovers, but then Karsiyaka came back to upset you in the second. What went wrong?
We lost the rhythm. That's it. I mean, we try to play our game, try to play fast, but Karsiyaka was slowing down the game, and we couldn't force our tempo to them. So that's it. We fought like the best we could, but the quality was not there today.
You're going home. I know you feel upset, but still, could you share some positive moments from Nizhny Novgorod, maybe about the atmosphere?
I mean, it was great to play in front of the fans again. It was, I think, it was a nice game. A lot of nice actions. I mean, fans have to enjoy it. Of course, it's upsetting for us after a season like this. Our goal was not to go home after first game, but you know, Karsiyaka was better today. We have to give him credit.
Appreciate your time, Wojtek.
Thank you.
Reymar, congrats with the win. You lost the first half by 5 points, but then came back strong, dominant the paint. You were crashing the boards. What was key to win the second half, and what did the coach say at halftime?
Just trying to get it done, man. Do anything we needed to do to get this win. We knew how important it was, and we just left it all on the line. We take it one game at a time, and we'll prepare for the next one.
You won the rebounding battle, and Nymburk, our first this season in rebounding. Was that key to the victory?
I think so. Keeping them off the offensive boards, and you know, just us crashing offensive glass ourselves, slowing them down a little bit in transition. It all worked in our favor. So, man, I just got to tip my hat off to my guys. They fought hard, and we got the win.
And that turnover dunk you made with an and one, out fouling one of the leaders of the opposing team, did that give you like extra energy, and did you feel that could be over?
I think so. I think that was a dagger. Man, we've been looking for something to put them away all game, and I think that might have been it.
Appreciate your time, Reymar. Congrats with the win.
Thank you.